All right, folks, it's January 12th, 2025, and it's a Sunday night live session. Now, my apologies for running a few minutes behind here tonight. Chaos in the household with a couple children. You might know what that's like. My son's been sick lately, and so we've been having some problems. Some messes have been made, and God bless him. He's a good little guy, but I've had quite the luck here. Every time I've been trying to do a late night live show, this guy ends up having some problems, but that's all right. He's getting better, and we're doing really well. Really blessed over here. And so my apologies for running a few minutes late here tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking once again about this bullish setup for XRP, and what we were looking for this week was to close above $2.40 on the XRP weekly chart, and that's exactly what we did, and then some, closing above $2.50 to close off this week, heading in to what was already anticipated to be a massive week for XRP with the bullish setup there on the technicals as well. Now, we love to see this, absolutely love to see this, and why are we so excited about this week? Well, because on Wednesday, hump day, it's going to be Gary Gensler's day to make a decision whether or not to file the appeal briefs in this SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. Now, if the appeal briefs don't get filed, this case is over. It's done. Gary Gensler gets to collect $125 million, pat himself on the back, pretend to be good guy Gary Gensler, and this is over. We're off to the races. The anticipation of this date, I think, is driving the price of XRP higher upon this speculation of not only this coming up, but then next week, we're now, 1 week away? 1 week away from Gary Gensler resigning before Trump gets inaugurated. So the next 10 days really are just massive, right? Not just for XRP, but for this country and for our markets as a whole. And so we're going to be tapped in. This live show here tonight is going to get you primed for this week ahead. We're going to also take a look here at some updates. XRP NFTs getting an update. We're going to correct some more XRP misinformation. Believe it or not, here we are in 2025, and we're still cutting down the same FUD that we've been hitting at for a few years. But the reason why we're doing that is because so many new people are coming in, and we want to pull them up on the train with us. This XRP train is a locomotive that is moving with a lot of momentum behind it. And what I'm excited for is how we finish off this month. The setup looks spectacular. Technicals, fundamentals, legal competitive advantage, lining up. Take a look outside. Go step outside, get a breath of fresh air. Take a look up at that big old full moon. And it's a beautiful full moon. And XRP might be making a little venture off to the moon right now as we speak. Let's take a look at it, folks. Getting started here. I appreciate everybody for stopping by. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our updates, and we're going to get right on into it. Now, love to see it. XRP's back in the 3 spot. Tether is back down in 4, and XRP, really has the rest of the space giving it all the attention right now. I'm seeing the Ethereum community come in. I'm seeing more Solana bros come in. I'm going to talk about that more later, but let's take a look here at where we finished off on the weekly chart for XRP here to get started. So what we're looking at here is all the way back to 2017, this 2017 fractal. To follow this fractal, we find ourselves right here at about this moment where we're primed for another few weeks of green candles, okay? After making this initial run up, we're primed here for another few more green candles over the next couple weeks. If we continue to follow this fractal, what we were looking for was for XRP to close above $2.40. And that's exactly what it did, closing at $2.50. So a stronger close than we were hoping for. And this is after we just had the highest yearly close in XRP's history. XRP's in uncharted waters right now. Speaking of uncharted waters, I got the XRP merch that's going to be uploaded here. Hopefully by tomorrow it will be live. My guy's working on it right now. We got a couple team members handling the merch. And so we're working on it right now. But XRP in smooth sailing in a position that it's never been in before. And you look here, if we continue to follow this fractal, we're going to double digits. We're easily going to double digits, and this is where we could stretch all the way up to about $20. This is a logarithmic chart, okay, so a little bit better comparison. over this long time frame, a lot of values to compare, big margin to compare here, big swing. So we flip it to a logarithmic chart, and it gives us a better perspective when looking at where we're at on this time frame. So there's the chart there without this fractal. This fractal is from back over here, okay? And so we slide this fractal over from 2017, and obviously I don't have it perfectly matched up, but the point being is that we've done this consolidation right here. We had this bull flag that was printed. This is a textbook bull flag. We've now broken out. So the XRP breakout is here once again, closing above $2.40 up at $2.50, and we got that bounce up to $2.60 already. You're seeing here, big time shorts started to come in here. And XRP panic really starts to set in as we approach $3 here once again. $2.50 to $3 is a very, very volatile, shaky, anxious area, I would describe it, where really, when I say XRP panic starts to set in, you got folks that are panicking because they didn't accumulate enough XRP. You got folks that have said that XRP wasn't going to go above $2 this bull run. They're eating those words pretty tough right now. And so XRP panic starting to set in because we're also creeping up on Ethereum. The Bitcoin bros are wondering what's going on here. We just printed a classic. You want to talk about textbook technicals and textbook patterns? Go look at this head and shoulders pattern that Bitcoin just printed here. Once again, this is Bitcoin right now on your weekly chart. And you can see classic head and shoulders pattern being printed right here. So when I look at the rest of the market, I have some concerns, okay? When I look at XRP, it's as good as it gets. I mean, we have this SEC appeal briefs are due Wednesday. Gary Gensler's gone on Sunday. That's January 19th. Trump gets inaugurated. The most pro-crypto Congress is coming in. And I didn't even line it up in tonight's show, but we got this Fair Tax Act that got suggested, which would remove federal income, payroll, estate, and gift taxes. Now, this is all opening up. I'm calling this Trump's Pandora's box, but really this Congress is here, and they're bringing some stuff to the table that hasn't been considered in a very long time. Some things that people have talked about, but now we're actually getting bills submitted so we can have a conversation about eliminating IRS, eliminating income tax, payroll tax, estate, and gift tax. And this is just the start. I mean, we haven't even got this administration in, and we're already getting this stuff, filling up our pipeline. So for XRP and the utility cryptocurrencies, it's looking fantastic. For the assets that have been pumped primarily through manipulation, and there's many tools that have fueled that manipulation, the party's over. For Bitcoin, I mean, it's, struggling to kind of squeeze out some more gains. It's done better than the stock market. Tip your hat, pay respects. Okay, good job. You done better than the stock market, but you didn't do 500. You didn't do 500%, and you don't have the promise of another 500 or another 1,000% from here. All right, XRP could still do another 5 or 10x from here. Can Bitcoin do a 5 or 10x in the next year? Time frame for context is the next year. Is there any chance that Bitcoin can do a 5 or 10x over the next year? Well, just like Justin Trudeau responded to Donald Trump saying that Canada was going to become the 51st state, there's not a chance in hell, right? For XRP and other utilities, I mean, 5 to 10x is still well in the cards. And so that's the setup that I'm watching. Let's get right on into some of this current events, economic data to watch out for this week, and then we'll get back more into XRP. Appreciate you guys for stopping by here tonight. Now, this is what we're talking about. Key events this week. We got December PPI inflation data on Tuesday. Are we going to get confirmation this week that inflation is continuing higher? We get the CPI data on Wednesday. So Wednesday is going to be a big day. A lot of volatility expected this week, not just for XRP, for the broader markets as well. Retail sales data on Thursday. Okay. Philadelphia Fed manufacturing on Thursday, along with December housing starts on Friday. Total of 7 Fed speaker events this week. So we are going to get to hear from the Fed. Last week, we got the minutes from the meeting, and we got spooked, obviously, with that jobs report. And this is how backwards it really is. When you take a step back and you look at the setup, it's like good economic data coming out, good jobs report comes out, and our stock market goes down. This is completely backwards, right? It's an upside down reality that we're living through. And it's all because of the Fed manipulation. If we were operating with a free market and basically the free market was allowed to set the prices on interest rates, the free market was allowed to just function properly, this wouldn't be the case. We wouldn't be all sitting on the edge of our seat waiting to see what the Fed does. The Fed makes a move and the bond market's still calling BS. And so despite the Fed lowering interest rates, the cost of our borrowing has still gone up because the bond market's given the Fed a big F you. And I would too. Who wants to do a deal with this? Government. Now, this is all before the Black Swan event that just occurred here in LA. And the reason why I call it, and I think that it is worthy of calling it a Black Swan, is because, yes, the wildfires are expected in California. We get them all the time, right? But to the scale, it's never been done. This scale of the damages done in this wildfire have never been done, and the ripple effects throughout the insurance industry to the small and regional banks. This, in my opinion, is going to be a banking crisis 2.0, a repeat of what happened in March of 2023. And the only things that they can do is admit that we're bust, or they slap a bigger bandage on the dying out patient. Basically, the patient is dying. There is no reviving this patient, but they've just continued to slap a bigger and bigger bandage on the issue. Nothing's getting solved. And then the crises just continue to pop up here and here, one after another. And when I tallied it up over the past 4 years, when you look at the wildfire seasons in the western half of America from 2020, 2022, this deal here in California, one of our wildfire seasons cost $400 billion in damages done. That was across the entire western side of America. That one was $400 billion. Hawaii was $13 to $16 billion are the estimates there. Hurricane Helene is $225 to $250. You add in LA, which is now up to $150 billion and growing. You're over $800 billion in damage from weather events in the past 4 years. So this issue is not getting solved anytime soon, and the number and the tally continues to grow. This is just the economic data, basically the economic damage. And obviously, I will preface by saying we are praying, and it is absolutely sickening to me, the government mismanagement. It's one thing, yeah, the weather comes through, and there's not much we can do about that. It's another thing to handle how we're prepared, how we handle these situations, and it's another incredible example of government failure. California has been setting the standard for government failure, and so we got to give them that award. And I wish it was a joking matter, but it's absolutely sick to see what's happened to the folks down here, and it's not getting any better. Insurance companies have lost a total of $19 billion of market cap, not accounting for this weekend's events. So basically, up until Friday, the insurance companies already lost $19 billion from their market cap. And the fires haven't gotten any better over the weekend. They've gotten worse. Total estimated damage have tripled to $150 billion. Like I said, California's FAIR Plan losses now exceed $24 billion. And I'm going to show you in the next slide how much cash they have on hand. And you can imagine, a little sneak peek, it's not $24 billion. It's far from it. And Palisades and Ian fire is at 11% and 27% contained as of Sunday. Other fires are now 90% contained. So some of these fires we got control of. Other ones, like the one here in Palisades and Eden, are still growing. And in fact, we saw evacuations being issued in other parts of Santa Monica today. Can California reassure homeowners that the FAIR Plan will be able to cover these losses? Well, I'll answer that question for you right here. Finance Lot shares that potential insurance exposure to the Los Angeles fires is $458 billion. That's how much the insurance industry has in exposure to the Los Angeles area. Now, the FAIR Insurance Program, which is California's program, the last resort, nobody wants to do business in these states. The insurance companies are fleeing. And State Farm dropped about 69% of their clients in the Palisades area just in this past year. And what you're seeing right here is this is the last resort program, this fair insurance program, and they only have 700 million cash on hand to pay claims. Now, let me remind you, we're talking about exposure of 458 billion. Okay, that's the total exposure so far that they have. But now the losses exceed 24 billion. So far, the tally and the losses is up to 24 billion. The total exposure is over 10 times that. And so this could get a lot worse if we don't get contain this fire and stop this thing here soon. This could grow even further. But as of right now, you're talking about significant exposure, 24 billion in damages, and they only have 700 million cash on hand to pay claims. Now, this is just California's fair insurance program. There are still other insurers that are working in that area, but they've been dropping off like flies. And I mean, who's going to want to do business here, any further? And so I think that what we've seen here and what we've been trying to grasp is how big is this actually going to be as far as the ripple effects outside of the insurance industry into the small regional banks once again. And from just the initial reports, the initial numbers, what I'm seeing so far, it has me confident in saying that we're going to be looking at a banking crisis 2.0 because this is going to expand into small regional banks. And the real estate exposure in this area, once again, we're looking at these commercial banks in the United States with over 300 billion in unrealized losses, trillions of dollars in commercial real estate exposure, trillions of commercial debt that needs to be rolled over in the next 12 to 24 months. And on top of that, now we just have to completely write off and mark down these assets that are some of the most expensive assets that these banks, have loans against. So I think that we're going to be tallying this one up for a while. This is absolutely terrible what's happened here. Not looking like we're even close to really containing this thing. So we're going to continue to watch that one further. But a lot of people are getting in some big trouble with this one. And so we've been reiterating, it's so important to stay prepping here because no matter what the crisis is, I've always said, it doesn't matter what the black swan event's going to be, right? We knew that they needed a crisis. They already had these issues on the back end of the banking system. We already had a liquidity crisis. They already have. The balance was over $500 million of unrealized losses on their bonds. They've managed to get it down to below 400 billion, but it's still, a third of $1 trillion unrealized losses just on their bonds. And so we've been telling folks to prep out because no matter what the event's going to be, is it going to be fires? Is it going to be hurricane? Is it going to be the aliens? All jokes aside, we prepare ourselves accordingly, no matter what it's going to be. So as long as you're prepped out, as long as you're staying liquid, as long as you're staying locked in, God willing, you're going to be able to make it through. But this has not been an environment, and we've never been in the camp of, hey, let's just stack our cryptos and our meme coins, and we're going to be able to survive World War III, a civil war, other events, weather events, liquidity crisis, banking crisis, etc., 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 along with everything else that they might have planned for us between now and Inauguration Day or in the first 12 months here of this Trump presidency and this new Congress. I think is going to be incredibly volatile over the next 12 months. I hope we rip the Band-Aid off. You remember as a kid when you had to trust your parents, they said, just let me rip it off. You said, no, don't, it hurts, you're crying, you're whining. And then your mom just rips it off. You said, oh, wow, that wasn't so bad. It's going to hurt at first, but that's what we got to do. And I wish that it could be a smooth transition, but that's not how the enemy plays. You're seeing firsthand how far our enemy is willing to go to fulfill their agenda, to stay in power, and to keep the people from being free. Now, continuing on, because we got a lot to talk about, folks, we're going to get right on into crypto right now. I'm seeing another wave of Soul Bros and .eth profiles coming into XRP memes. I put out this tweet here tonight. Let me show you some proof. This guy right here, Kawa Section 9 on Twitter, says, I just put 100,000 into XRP memes. Now, hey, whether or not you think that putting $100,000 into XRP memes is good or bad, the point being, and whether or not this guy's for real or not, the point being, it's attention and it's liquidity and it's coming in. Now, you could argue that it might be coming into stupidity, XRP memes, but the point is that we got them on the XRP Ledger. We get them in with the memes, they stay for all the money. This is the perfect setup for XRP right now. And like I said, we got Soul Bros coming in. I'm seeing .eth profiles. Further proof right here. The Solstice, some Soul Bro here on X. He says at this point, you either get rugged and lose everything on Solana or take 5 minutes to learn to bridge to XRP and survive. See, these guys aren't just coming in. They're actively poo-pooing on Solana. These are Soul Bros with, I mean, his name is the Solstice, okay? And I think these guys want to renew their soul. I think they want their soul back. Many of them sold their soul in Solana. And they realized, wow, this is toxic. Wow, this is trash. Wow, this network sucks. You know, or, you know, a lot of these guys, they made their money. And these guys, they follow money wherever it goes, right? These guys are degenerates. But the point being is that I'm seeing another wave. This really picked up when the memes coin started on First Ledger. And by the way, if you want to be a degenerate and trade the memes, I got it linked up down below at firstledger.com. You know, and right below that, I should link up a church service or a gambling hotline so that you degens can find First Ledger and then you can find the gambling hotline in case you got a problem. You know, but we saw an explosion of this happen when the First Ledger memes first started. Soul Bros coming in. I mean, these big bags. And these guys were running around losing their minds in the spaces, talking about how they made 50,000 XRP, 100,000 XRP. And these guys are losing their minds. And this is the worst case for ETH. Once again, I'm not here to FUD anything that doesn't deserve to be FUDed, but take a look at what's happening right now for ETH. You got validators dropping off. You got their meme coin communities dipping out of ETH, dipping out of Solana now, and now they're coming to XRP. This is their worst nightmare. Now, the only other thing that we're missing is smart contracts. And I'm going to show you here in this next slide that we don't have smart contracts on the XRP Ledger, but even better, we're getting functionality that's not quite to the scale of a smart contract, but it's enough or adequate enough to give our developers the tools that they need to build businesses, products, and services on the XRP Ledger, and that's what counts. Remember, our AMM is native layer 1 to our blockchain. There is no third party between you and the AMM. You can go directly to the XRP Ledger DEX and participate in deep, open, public pools of liquidity. That's the difference between what's happening on XRP Ledger versus on these other blockchains where the smart contracts and the AMMs are built and wrapped up in smart contracts, which are choke points, which are, you know, bridges that get hacked, which is where these issues arrive from, which is where lawsuits are about to happen, like Uniswap, the Ethereum AMM, getting served a Wells notice by the SEC. There's nobody to serve a Wells notice for our AMM on the XRP Ledger because it's integrated directly into the protocol without a smart contract. And this is hilarious for me to watch because all these people were saying, oh, without smart contracts, XRP is never going to be anything. Oh, okay, you can send a nice, fast, cheap, and efficient payment, but if you don't have smart contracts and if you don't incentivize your builders, nobody's going to come. Well, what are we seeing now? The memesters are coming. We just saw, last week I saw that Vet shared some developer came in, he bought 100,000 XRP and set himself up a full hub XRP Ledger validator without an incentive, without smart contracts. But like I said, we're starting to get the functionality that we need that's adequate enough to be able to do what you want to do on blockchain. You don't necessarily need smart contract functionality. Now, here's a prime example. NFTs on the XRP Ledger are getting a utility boost with XLS46 NFTs. What does this mean for real world and digital use cases on the XRP Ledger? NFTs are unique token type and it's not divisible and one of a kind. This makes them ideal to represent assets like digital art, collectibles, music, carbon credits, academic intellectual property, etc. NFTs on the XRP Ledger existed since 2022, which we should note that. We got NFTs late. We got AMM late. We're getting decentralized identity late. But the way that we're getting it, layer 1 native. No smart contracts, no pinch point, nobody to sue. We're in the clear. Big difference. And our ledger actually scales to be able to handle all the throughput that comes from all this activity. The amendment XLS20 brought us native NFTs with built-in royalty distribution. There's a huge community of NFT collectors, marketplaces, and creators on the XRP Ledger. Many folks I know today are from this corner. To expand on the functionalities of the NFTs, the community came up with XLS46 dynamic NFTs. And Vet was actually the one who proposed this amendment originally. For those of you guys who don't know, Vet is one of our 35 validators on our UNL list. So when Vet votes, his vote counts towards changing the XRP Ledger. And by the way, I think we're only about 7 or 8 votes away from the next significant upgrade. And this NFT, dynamic NFT amendment would be included along with the AMM clawback amendment, which would allow RLUSD to get added to the AMM. More on that later. But to expand on the functionalities of the NFTs, our community came up with XLS46 dynamic NFTs. Currently, the content associated with NFTs URI is immutable. Dynamic NFTs allows when a proper flag is set at mint to modify this content, leaving an on-chain trace behind that anyone, due to the XRP Ledger's public and permissionless nature, can verify and fetch. Okay, what does this allow us to do, right? Enabling use cases such as gaming, level up progress, supply chain, on-chain change tracking, mint reveals, metaverse land items, and much more. So there you have it. And, you know, it's interesting because all these other blockchains were going to be the gaming blockchain. VET, right? The VET token, VeChain was going to be the supply chain token, right? Stellar was going to be the stock market. All of the smart contracts were going to be on ETH. All of the memes were going to be on Solana. We're just adding little pieces of code. And I'm simplifying this. I'm really dumbing this down. These developers are working really hard behind the scenes to make it simple for us. But basically, they're adding little lines of code that add on this functionality to the XRP Ledger without breaking our ledger, without crashing our network and stalling out like Solana and all these others, right? And all these other blockchain, and this is one of the flawed ways of thinking that I used to have in crypto, is I used to think, okay, XRP's wholesale payments, XLM's retail, this coin's going to do this coin's the gaming chain, this coin's the NFT chain, this coin's the meme chain. And then you start to see, wow, not only XRP, but these other chains too are actually becoming, having liquidity for all these different use cases. And you're starting to see this happen now on the XRP Ledger. Once again, you combine this silly stuff, NFTs and memes, with institutional adoption that's happening from the very top. This is why I love the setup on XRP so well. Similar to Bitcoin, completely open source, permissionless, decentralized, anybody can participate, and we have just enough functionality. We didn't go as far as Ethereum with the smart contracts, but we're giving our builders and our developers the tools that they need to have adequate programmability and functionality to allow us to have a DeFi ecosystem, which is what we all want, which is why we're here, to be our own bank, to participate in decentralized finance, and that's exactly what we're getting right now on the XRP Ledger. Now, continuing on, this gets interesting because, okay, NFTs, memes, this is all great, Zach. Tell me when the number goes higher and tell me how it goes higher. Well, let's take a sip of our adult beverage and I'll show you right here, okay? If you guys haven't already, please make sure you like this video. Help us out by sharing it out far and wide. And I hope you guys are doing well out there tonight. Hope you had a good weekend. Market cap multiplier. Okay. Now the market cap bros, they're struggling to figure out how XRP has such a large market cap. They are trying to limit how high XRP could go based off of market cap. And I've done videos on this in the past, and I'm going to show you here once again just a quick snapshot of how little money coming into XRP it takes to move this asset. And you're going to be shocked because Last time I did this demonstration from our good friend Chad Steingraber, and that is the most ridiculous name, Chad. I don't even know if that's your real name. I love saying it every time, though, because it's just crazy. I don't even know how it's possible to have that name, Steingraber. But Chad, we appreciate you. And the last time I went through this exercise with Chad, the market cap multiplier was 598. So it was almost 600. Now, for those of you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, market cap multiplier means how much of inflows have to come in versus how much it impacts market cap. So at a 600 market cap, if $1 billion came into XRP net inflows, our market cap would grow by 600 billion. Okay? Now, the last time we did this exercise, we took a snapshot over 30 minutes, and the inflows were hundreds of millions. And the market cap growth was in the billions. And so our market cap multiplier was about 600, okay? This time around, the market cap multiplier snapshot that Chad Steingraber just grabbed here today, I didn't mean this, Chad Steingraber just grabbed this snapshot here today. It's such a ridiculous name, Chad. Is that even real, Chad? I don't know if Chad watches my show, but it's just funny. Check this out, folks. The market cap multiplier that he captured right here is nearly 6,000. That's right. You heard me. Take a look at it. This is the order book and the XRP spot data analysis. What you see is this heat map right here. Shows us net inflows. Now, down here, we see that Chad has us lined up XRP spot inflow, outflow. Let me zoom in here so you guys can see this a little bit better. And you probably still can't even see it there. It's still too small, but I'll just break it down for you right here. Okay, over this 15-minute snapshot, the inflows right down here, it says $676,000. So in a 15-minute period, we only had net inflows of $600,000. Okay? Well, I slid right on over here to Google, and I asked Google, what is 4 billion? Because once again here, let me show you. Thank you for the money gun, Travis, there on TikTok. Appreciate that. I see some super chats on YouTube. I'll get to that in 1 second. XRP moved from $2.48 to $2.55 in 15 minutes. A 7-cent move, and that's a market cap of 4 billion. So our market cap grew by 4 billion. So to calculate the market cap multiplier, we slide on over here, 4 billion divided by 676,000. It gives us a market cap multiplier of 5,900. So once again, for the second time now that we've done this demonstration, we are looking at a market cap multiplier for XRP that's not 3x, not 5x, which is what Bitcoin's market cap multiplier has been. $1 billion in inflows into Bitcoin. You see the market cap on Bitcoin grow by 3 to 5 billion, but about a 3 to 5x market cap multiplier for Bitcoin. For XRP, during these pumps, we're talking about market cap multipliers in the hundreds. In the snapshot that Chad Steingraber just grabbed, can't say that with a straight face, 5,900. And I'm going to show, and I'm going to talk about this more later. This is why the traditional finance guys cannot wrap their minds around how this crypto market moves and how to value these assets. They cannot understand and wrap their minds around this one because it does not move like a traditional stock. It's not even close. And even Bitcoin, right? With Bitcoin, you saw a market cap multiplier is a little bit dramatic, a little, much more dramatic than traditional stocks. But what you see on these altcoins, in particular XRP, what we've seen is a market cap multiplier that is just ridiculous. The dynamic changes based off of how much of the token is used for payments and how much of it is held up and not actually in circulating supply. This is why you get such a dramatic market cap multiplier on XRP. It's a much different dynamic than Bitcoin or a stock or even the bond market. And I've gone through in one of the first times we did this demonstration, we actually went through the white papers that were done by the Bank of International Settlements and by Bank of America, where Bank of America was showing how at times, certain snapshots, Bitcoin had a market cap multiplier upwards of about 100, 118. And so Bank of America has already been looking at this. The Bank of International Settlements has already been looking at this. But here we are dealing with market cap bros on TikTok. They're telling us XRP can't go to $10 because the market cap would be they just start crying and melting. And it's like, take a look for yourself. Play with the maths, play with the mathematics, have a little fun. And what you will find is it's not a market cap multiplier of 3, 5, 10, 500, 5,000. This is a completely new asset class, a completely new technology, and you cannot value it in the same way that we valued stocks for the past 300 years. It just doesn't apply. And those that are caught in that way of thinking, they're going to miss some of the best opportunities here in the digital asset space. It's why some of these utility cryptos, because as the demand comes in, there's a lot less supply than what's being tallied up there on CoinMarketCap. Eventually, we have an inflection point where that gets realized, and by that time, it's too late. Now, I got some super chats here. Somebody says, Zach got the best hair. Marlon, appreciate you. This is what happens when you get the XRP haircut. I told you, my guy. I don't want to put him on blast because he's an XRP holder. And so I'm going to ask him permission if he wants. Maybe one day, would you guys like that if I did a little vlog style, going to get a haircut, an XRP haircut, not just any haircut, an XRP haircut. Last time I went to get my haircut last week, my guy took about an hour, but I loved every minute of it because it's like an old school barber setup. We're chilling, and I live in such a small town that we know the same people, and we're talking about these stories and everything. We were going on for an hour, and I think he forgot actually that I was an XRP YouTuber. My first time in, we got talking about crypto somehow, and I told him that, I had a YouTube channel. I told him to check me out, told him what my name was. And I think that he forgot, because this time around, we didn't even talk about crypto, which was just fine for me, right? I was having a good old time. We were talking about other stuff, but he did me up right. And the big thing too is not just the haircut, it's the beard trim. That's key. That's key. Yeah. You got to get the beard trim nice and tight as well too. So shout out to my guy. He did me up right. Okay. Enough with the hair. We got some super chats coming in hot and heavy. Dennis, when BlackRock sees Bank of America has been using XRP, they will be rushing in with their ETF. Oh, absolutely. Dennis, I believe that they already have been working on that, right? We're well aware of BlackRock, in their interest in XRP. We find it so fascinating that Larry Fink just can't talk about the XRP ETF. When asked directly if they're going to launch an XRP ETF, he just can't comment on that. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. If it was a no, if there was no chance of an XRP ETF, he would have said it right there. He would have stopped it in the tracks right there. And Dennis, I'm glad that you brought up the Bank of America, because everybody's been talking about Bank of America here once again, because that David Strzelecki, he's been going viral, doing the rounds on Fox Business and other media outlets, talking about XRP, Bank of America, 80 patents for 2 years, doing all of their internal transactions with Ripple. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because if what David is saying is not true, he's going to be shut up here soon. And what I mean by that, back in the day, we saw Alex Cobb. Maybe some of you guys know Alex Cobb. He's one of the OG XRP YouTubers. He's been around for a long time. And good thing, I haven't seen him streaming much lately, which is probably why XRP is doing so well. The joke is that every time Cobb fired up the stream, he would always kill the XRP pump. So he hasn't been streaming for a while. But the point being, back in the day, this was a few years ago, he shared a tweet out about the Bank of America partnership and how Bank of America was going to use XRP and all this and that. They responded to him. And he had to take down that post because they said, hey, can you please remove this post? We don't want to disclose anything too early. Basically acknowledging that there's some sort of NDA. We were well aware of the partnership, but it was to a level that they were going to use XRP, if I'm not mistaken. I forget exactly what Cobb tweeted out. Maybe somebody in the comments can refresh us. What was the tweet that Cobb put out about Bank of America that they requested him take down? Because it got me thinking about this David guy, from CEO of the Sound Planning Group, David Strzalski. He's running around saying all this stuff about Bank of America. If they have a problem with that, they're going to shut him up here soon. Pretty soon, they'll be making a call to David. They'll be saying, you need to stop. Either what you're saying is not true, or what you're saying is premature and we don't want it disclosed. Or if it is true and they don't really care that the word's getting out, then they're not going to say anything. And they're going to continue to let him run in his mouth like that. And I'm not saying that in any sort of negative way. I'm saying run his mouth as far as spilling the beans, right? Because we don't know. Apparently, Digital Asset Investor is going to interview David this week, I believe. So hopefully DAI can kind of pry into this guy a little bit more and we can see what he knows and how he got this information. We can't verify it. I've never seen that they were running 2 years of internal transactions on RippleNet. But we are well aware of the partnership that started back in 2016. And I do recall, as many of you probably do, when Cobb put out that tweet and Bank of America had him take it down, right? And so that's going to be interesting. I'm glad that you mentioned that, Dennis. Thank you for the super chat. BlackRock definitely coming in on the XRP ETF game, 100%. Sir, I go by Yash. I want an honest hint or opinion. Okay, Yash, appreciate the 10 spot. If XRP project is as promising as it sounds, shall someone hold onto it or take profits and exit before the bull run is over? That's a really good question. Some folks are saying hold on. Some folks say don't be a bag holder. This is completely dependent upon your circumstances and where you're at in your life. Because for some folks, it's going to be the right thing to do is going to be to take some profit. For other folks, they don't need the liquidity. They don't need capital out of XRP right now. Then yeah, maybe just hold for the next 5-10 years, which is what many of us are doing. I'm very blessed and I work my butt off to be able to stack my bag of XRP so that I can take profits this bull run, but still have a considerable size of my XRP portfolio. I'm in a position where I'm 30 years old. Right, I got my wife, I got my kids, and we got some moves to make. And I put too much money into cryptocurrency. Raise your hand if you're guilty of that one. I put too much into crypto. Now I can still feed my family, right? But there's some other things that we got to do too. And so we find ourselves in our own situation, and we have to take a look at what is XRP going to do this bull run. The only way that I see XRP sustaining higher prices above, 10, 20, and 30 bucks is institutional liquidity coming in at scale. Not just institutional liquidity arriving, not just partnerships that XRP is going to be used being made. At scale is the key part to that. Because we can get big announcements, we can get big partnerships, we can get legislation, we can get ETFs. But we need liquidity at scale to be able to hold $10, $20, $30 and to be able to go beyond those levels. So if XRP is going to run up over the next 12 months at some point here, and it's going to have a blow off top, and really the reason why this is going to happen is because of the suppression for years. You push that ball, that inflatable ball down below the water, as soon as it breaks free from your grip, it's going to blast up out of the water, right? That's this situation for XRP. So the fair market value for XRP is higher than $2. The suppression, we're breaking free from it. We're on our way to a fair market value. And we're going to see how high XRP goes this bull run. But if institutional liquidity is not present at scale, I will be taking profits. If institutional liquidity is present at scale, and I'll give you a real metric, I'll give you a real data point to hang your hat on, right? To understand the context of which I'm speaking on. If we see Ripple partnering up with their institutional partners and we see tens of billions of dollars worth of liquidity coming into the XRP Ledger because of Ripple and their partners, that the reality has changed. I'm not interested in selling my XRP at $5 if institutional liquidity is present to the scale of $50 billion total value lock on the XRP Ledger AMMs. That's a different game. Okay, that's a different reality for XRP. Now, a great comparison that I can give you is when the Bitcoin ETFs went live. Just because the announcement was made, oh, Bitcoin ETFs are going live, January 11th, 2024. Never will forget it. Bitcoin's at 49,000, it dumps down to 38,000 right after. Why? Because the news came out, market makers sold that news and sold that top, and then Bitcoin came back down to 38,000. Now, after that, Bitcoin pumped straight up to 74,000 and set a new all-time high before the halving, which it had never done before. So the ETF did cause Bitcoin to do something it had never done before. The XRP ETFs will cause XRP to do something it's never done before. But you have to still understand the dynamics here of XRP, the run-up that we're about to see, followed by the sell-off, and then we establish a new floor price, and we wait for institutional liquidity to come in at scale. If you're not a sophisticated trader, you're going to get your shirt taken from you trying to trade this thing. I'm not a sophisticated trader, but I have some experience, and I feel confident enough that I'm going to make my moves, and I understand completely the risk that I am taking. If I trade this properly, I will be able to take my profit. I'll be able to have my cake and eat it too. Or I'll mess up and you guys can smash the cake in my face and call me a doofus moron for selling my XRP at $10 while it soars up to 30, 40, and $50 in the next 12 months because the institutional liquidity comes in at scale. That's the asterisk right next to my thesis. That's the caveat. Not just the announcements being made, not just the ETFs going live, but the liquidity coming in at scale. That's what I'm waiting for. Now, I'm falling behind on these super chats. Zach goes global. Several of us in Thailand. Dennis, appreciate you. Big B36, 2 spot. Zach, you bring the fire, bro. Keep it up. Appreciate you. Appreciate you guys. Big super chats tonight. Thank you. Crypto Cowboy, thank you for the 5 spot. The Zach Attack, you, sir, are Mr. XRP. Appreciate you guys. Much love. Yash, I hope I answered your question, right? For some folks, they're not going to sell, and that's the right move, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. Gambada, thank you for that Canadian funny money. We'll accept it. Appreciate you with the 10 spot. Thank you. Love from Ontario, Canada. What do you personally think XRP can get to in 2025? There's so much price difference that it's hard for me to plan a 50% exit in the market. Conservatively, $10. I think that we can stretch up to $20 at most, 25 to $30. Right? I kind of just explained it in my last answer. For me, we got a conservative $10 this bull run. And if we really stretch out, if we really are going to do it up, we got about 20 to $25 max, in my opinion. And I'd be happy to be wrong. And I still make a lot of money if I'm wrong because, like I said, I'm still holding on to a lot of my bag. I'm still holding on to a lot of XRP. Now, we see that Noval came in with another 10 spot. Zach, is the XRP AMM getting into? Worth getting into, I think is what you meant to say. Yes. It really, it's an investment into a liquidity pool. It needs to be viewed as another investment. It is not, by my definition of passive income, it is passive, right? I'm not having to work a shovel to make my money. That's the world that I come from, right? Is having to break my back to make a buck. So anytime that I can park some money and have it work for me, that's considered passive to me, right? Is trading passive? No. You got to have analysis. You got to put in some work, right? But is parking some assets into a liquidity pool and letting that generate fees for you, that's as damn close as it gets to passive as far as I'm concerned. I'm not having to break a sweat. I'm sweating more doing this live show than I am, working on the AMM. But is it worth it? I'm going to do a follow-up and I'll answer you, because I got to get the hard data in front of me on how well I've performed in the AMM, on how well some of these other pools are doing, because I've missed some of these pools have done better than the AMM pools that I'm invested in. So there are some folks that are making good money on the AMM and the fees that they're generating. But really, you got to believe in both projects. So we all believe in XRP, right? But when you're adding, the other asset to the pool as well, too, you really need to believe in that asset as well. Basically, whatever liquidity pool you're adding your value to, you need to believe in both sides of that. You need to be invested in Casino Coin and XRP. And I'm just using that as an example because that's one of the AMMs that I'm invested in. And I'm holding on to these Casino Coin tokens. I'm not doing anything with them. And Casino Coin hadn't really done much price-wise. So let me just throw this into the AMM and let it work for me. And then, of course, I threw a little bit of XRP in there. And temporarily, I did have impermanent loss. I know that for a fact. When XRP pumped up, I'm sure that I had impermanent loss. Hopefully, that's balanced itself out by now. But I'm going to do a follow-up to the AMM. I already did an AMM tutorial a few months ago. Now we're going to do an update with real data as far as how much money we've made or how much I've lost. I may have lost. So before I can say, is the AMM worth getting into, I really can't answer that without having the data in front of me. Unless you're trying to support a meme coin project, then you could throw your assets into the liquidity pool to support that meme coin project if that's what you believe in. But that's obviously not for everybody. Continuing on. A lot of super chats tonight. You guys are showing a lot of love. I just want to say thank you. Appreciate your support. Peaky, my good friend Peaky, God bless you, brother. Peaky says, always a blessing to be with you all. Love y'all. Stay kind in your hearts and sharpen your minds. You are about to be tested with opportunity and freedoms. Remember humility, empathy, and kindness. Peaky, I love you, brother. Well said. And I don't know about you guys, I've noticed in my life certain patterns play out where every single time things are going well, I'm flying high, business is doing everything, something comes. There's a curveball. Little curveball comes in. And I actually sucked as a hitter. I was a pitcher when I played baseball. I was not a good hitter. I was pretty pathetic, actually, as a hitter. It was embarrassing. And so the curveball would hang me up, okay? But I've noticed that if you have that mindset that Peaky just laid out, and I try to live by, which is celebrating the successes. You know what I'm saying? Celebrate the successes. Cheers. Have a good time. Let's enjoy our successes, but we stay ready. We keep that head on a swivel. We're absolutely locked in, and the job's not over. And that's exactly how I felt after hitting 100,000 subscribers on YouTube this last week, right? It's like I just thought of the Kobe quote, right? Job's not finished, right? Huge shout out to you guys. I couldn't have done it without your support, but I just feel like we're still getting started. We still have so much to accomplish, and especially with the XRP setup. The work's not done when XRP goes to 510 or even $500. That's when the work just, begins, and really the work shifts, the work adjusts from wealth building to wealth preservation, to struggling to get by, to now we have an opportunity to give back. As Peaky says, remembering humility, empathy, and kindness. That's the difference between the XRP community and a lot of these crypto clowns out here, is we're really about it. God bless you, brother. Noval, thank you, Zach. We look forward to the info on that. Yes, I got you, my friend. Thank you. Miss Priss, thank you. Where do we go for the education on AMMs? Type into the search bar, how to XRP AMM on YouTube. Go to YouTube, hit the search bar, how to XRP AMM. And I wrote it out like that, like an illiterate, for the algorithm. Okay? Because it's just, how can I make this the most simple as possible? And, how to XRP AMM, look into that, and you'll see it on my channel. Now, let's continue. I don't know why TikTok does this. It tells me I'm live, TikTok. It's like TikTok doesn't pick up. Just because I'm not looking at TikTok, it wants to end the screen. It's like this live will end if you don't look over here and acknowledge that you're live on TikTok. TikTok, I appreciate you guys. We still have a lot of news to cover, though. Just trying to catch up on these super chats. I appreciate you guys so much. Let's go. Appreciate you guys. Okay. If I missed any other super chats, I really apologize. I got a lot to cover, and we're already 55 minutes into this update. Holy smokes. Time flies when you're having fun. 4 more data points to go through, and then we'll open it up for Q&A rapid fire. Okay? Here we go. Cheers. Now, okay. I shouldn't have worn my sweatpants. I should have worn my sweats or my shorts. I'm sweating up in here. My lights get so hot, and I took down my AC unit. I should have kept my AC unit up because my lights and everything. I don't even run the heat during the winter, but my lights heat me up in here, and then I get ranting and raving. So here we are. Let's go. I'm ranting and raving, and I haven't even got to the FUD. I haven't even got to the disinformation that's still being spread out here. Here we go. We got a usual participant in the FUD spreading, Dark Horse. Okay. He says, just a gentle reminder to all the people pushing around stupid narratives for XRP. It's nice to know that you are being used, right? And he shares what is an internal email between Ripple that was shared in the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit. And what it says is, what a blessing it is to have the XRP army to say the things we legally shouldn't. Ha. Okay. So Dark Horse is one of these guys, you know, we're all spreading fake narratives and all this. And what you'll find is that these guys, there's plenty of XRP content creators sharing stuff that's absolutely not true, absolutely fake, cannot be confirmed, goes against what Ripple wants to be shared. And these guys always pick the most extreme examples of that to portray all XRP YouTubers like we're all committing a sin every time we put out a piece of content about XRP. We're spreading stupid narratives. No, you're picking and choosing the worst examples that are present across all other cryptos as well. You got guys that are saying that, I'm not even going to name any other coins, but you got guys that are saying that these coins are going to do this and that, and they've partnered up with BlackRock and all this crazy stuff, right? This is present in every single community. If just like in the XRP community, but these guys love to pick at this. And then they get these little internal emails where Ripple's acknowledging that we have an XRP army and that the XRP army can say things that we shouldn't legally. Okay, does that mean that we're being used? Or does that mean that we're in this together with Ripple, applying pressure, fighting for a level playing field, defeating the bureaucracy beast in the form of the SEC lawsuit that we've won on, right? Are we participating in the fight and the victory that we've achieved, or are we being used? And the same guys like to spread the FUD and the lies that we're being dumped on, even though Ripple hasn't dumped any XRP on exchanges since 2019. Now, David Schwartz responds, and David should not having to be taking any time to address this nonsense, but he did, and so I wanted to show you guys that. His response is right here. He says, I feel that way sometimes. One of the things that most annoyed me about the lawsuit and the war on crypto was that there were things that were indisputably true that I could not say. It definitely lifted my spirits to see someone else say them when I could not. So just like I was saying, we're out here fighting our part, right? While Ripple is taking the SEC head on, the XRP army is on the flank. Do you get it? Do you understand what's been taking place and why we destroyed the SEC in this battle? Not only did we defeat them in the SEC versus Ripple lawsuit in the matters on XRP, but they forced us to go start digging, and then we exposed them for all their corruption. This is why we won so handedly, is we started to hit them on the flank. We got us crazy little XRP YouTubers spreading stupid narratives, and just like they tried to say that the red folder was a scam, well, how are we doing now? How you doing? Right? We've been completely vindicated on all of it. We can now quantify the damages into the hundreds of billions of dollars, while these guys are still trying to say that we're spreading stupid narratives. I believe that there's a saying that we use in the crypto space for this. It's called "have fun staying poor." But I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. Because like Peaky said, let's remain humble. Let's have some compassion. But it's hard to find it for these guys, who continually spread these lies about XRP. And you want more? You want more silliness? Take a look at this one. I put out the tweet today. Ripple will have the largest IPO in the history of the world. In fact, it's very fitting that the largest IPO so far was from an oil company. Ripple equals Saudi Aramco, which is the largest IPO ever done. Largest oil company out of Saudi Arabia, right? Saudi Aramco. Ripple is Saudi Aramco. XRP is the oil. It's the exact same setup. Ripple is the company. XRP is the commodity. They have a big supply. And I said it's a very similar setup, with Ripple having significant proven reserves, to use an oil term, right? So the XRP escrow is Ripple's proven reserves. Now with the new technology, the LiDAR and everything, these guys can, actually prove that they have, this is where they're discovering the gold deposits. This is where they're discovering oil. And so they have proven reserves. Ripple has proven reserves of some 40 plus billion XRP, right? In the similar fashion, Saudi Aramco and other oil companies have proven reserves. We know it's in the ground. Now we just got to get it out. That's the same exact setup with XRP in the escrow. We know it's there. Now we just wait for it to come out to us. And in a similar fashion where Saudi Aramco and these other big oil companies get to essentially manipulate the price because they control the supply, in a similar fashion, Ripple does have a control of that supply flow. And what we've seen is that they've distributed XRP over the counter so that it doesn't impact price negatively or positively. But eventually down the road, what happens is an inflection point where the market and the broader participants in the market, the retail investors like us, along with the other institutions, along with the ETFs, realize, oh crap, there's not as much XRP circulating as we were led to believe. This is where my supply shock scenario comes in. But back to the topic at hand here. I shared this post. The largest IPO in the history of the world was Saudi Aramco at $25.6 billion. Okay. Brad Garlinghouse just confirmed that Ripple's bag of XRP is worth $100 billion, 4 times the largest IPO in the history of the world. So it doesn't take any special sort of evaluation. You don't even need to look at the balance sheet of Ripple, other than if you just stop after you look at their escrow, the conversation just stops right there, because their bag of escrow is worth 4 times the largest IPO that was ever done. But that's not enough for some of these guys. Money GCC, another guy. Now, this is one of the guys who said, this is a direct quote, "Don't be greedy. Sell your XRP at $1.90 because we have to go back to 80 cents and Ripple's about to dump on us for the first of the month." This was December when XRP was at $1.90. Said, don't be greedy. You got to sell. Basically giving us financial advice. You got to sell. Don't be greedy. Making us feel guilty. You're a bad person almost, right? Don't be greedy. Sell your XRP at $1.90. We have to go back to 80 cents and Ripple's about to dump on you. And what they're implying is that you're a dummy for holding XRP. Guess how that program worked out for them? As XRP shot up to $2.90 the next week. How's your program working out? Okay? But these guys double down on their stupidity because they let ego lead them. He puts out a tweet in response. He retweets me. "Clear misunderstanding of global markets and an influencer that constantly misleads people that Ripple needs to start rebuking if they want people to respect the company." Pause. Let me take a deep breath and let me take a sip of my adult beverage. What's hilarious about this is I actually had just read a DM from someone at Ripple right before this tweet got put out. I had just gotten a DM from someone at Ripple praising my content. That's how hilarious this whole setup is. Now, I'm not paid by Ripple. I don't communicate with Ripple on a daily basis, right? But someone from Ripple that I do talk to was once again praising my content and working on connecting me with some other folks in the other builders that are building on the XRP Ledger. Because basically I was reached out to because we got new builders and new projects in the community that Ripple wants to highlight. These are companies that Ripple is investing in. These are companies that Ripple is helping. And so they're basically reaching out to community members and saying, hey, we're working with these guys. You should check them out. And I literally had just got done reading a DM from someone at Ripple praising my content. And meanwhile, we got these guys out here saying that Ripple needs to start rebuking me. Well, I'll tell you what, Ripple's had 4 years to rebuke me and what I've been saying. And they've had 6, 7+ years to rebuke some of our OGs in the community. Digital Asset Investor, Brad Kimes, and others. Do they rebuke those guys? No. Do they show up to XRP Las Vegas? Yes. Yes. Do they throw a proper party for the XRP community? Yes. Yes. Do they come on X Spaces with the XRP army? After we get breaking news, XRP's not a security, where does Brad go? The first place he runs to is not mainstream news, not some big financial news outlet. No, no, no. He comes to the XRP army. There's nothing to rebuke. Now, of course, there are some, fringe examples, as David has highlighted and others that Ripple have talked about. But most of these fringe examples, they end up falling off because people are smart here in the XRP community. We go do our own research. So when you got these clowns out here saying ridiculous stuff, we go verify and we say, okay, that's not true. Or in some instances, it's an honest mistake. And we say, okay, that's not all the way true, or you misunderstood this. Let's help you understand that better. And I think that Ripple has done a great job over the years of actually coming in and clarifying some of these points. They've been they've been the most transparent company in the cryptocurrency space. Now, should they be having to devote resources to running around and fact checking every little TikToker, every little YouTuber, every little tweet? I mean, they'd have to have a full-time staff of 500 people running around fact checking XRP content creators. That's a waste of time, and it's not necessary because the XRP community are the adults in the room, and we've been doing our own research. You guys have been doing your own research. Even through the trust that we've established, you guys still go verify the claims that I'm making. You guys still go back test and run your own research against what we're putting out here. And that's what's made our community so strong. So I find it just hilarious. I was just laughing because you got these guys out here saying that folks like me need to be rebuked because I'm an influencer that's constantly misleading people. Even though, remember, this is the guy that said, sell your XRP at $1.90, don't be greedy, after we pumped it $2.90. But I'm the influencer that's misleading people. And I love these guys too. All these guys try to shy away from being an influencer. Oh, I'm not an influencer. No, bro, I'm not an influencer. No. Even though they do the most engagement baiting, even though they live on Twitter, they go through all this effort to get all this attention. But no, bro, I'm not an influencer. No. You're an influencer and you're misleading people. I just laugh, right? But let's delve into what this guy says, because it's funny until real people start losing money because they're taking this bad advice. It's funny until the financial, the traditional financial, the traditional finance guys, the TradeFi guys like this guy, it's funny until they're late to the party, right? Until they're having to buy into XRP above $2 because they didn't want to be greedy and they thought we were going back to 80 cents. Now these guys are having to buy back in at 250, 260, right? So it's all funny until people start losing money, which is exactly what would have happened if you would have listened to his advice. And I'm going to show you further where these guys are missing the plot completely. And just, this is, once again, these are traditional finance guys that are coming to this investment with more money than you, more resources than you, more connections than you, but you're going to outsmart them and outinvest them because you actually take the time to research without a bias and understand what's happening here with XRP. Here's what I'm talking about. Clear misunderstanding of global markets and an influencer that constantly misleads people that Ripple needs to start rebuking if they want people to respect the company. Yeah, I don't think that the content that I'm putting out is causing Ripple to lose respect. Okay, Ripple is not even close to 10 cent global, and you want to put them up there with the third most valuable company in the world. For F's sakes, educate yourself. Below is a list of the most valuable companies in 2024 by Forbes. Number 100, Coca-Cola, had a 2024 profit of $10.8 billion and sales of $46.1 billion. Ripple in 2024 had $3 billion in sales of XRP, even if you add an additional $3 billion for other sales, which it is definitely not. You are still nowhere close to Coca-Cola, which is number 100. And you are talking about number 3, Aramco. I ask him a simple question. How much is Ripple's escrow worth? Because you're comparing last year's sales, last year's revenue is the comparison that this guy's trying to make. Once again, traditional finance approach. They don't know how to value these assets. They don't understand that this is a completely different setup. This is not just a company making sales. This is a network. This is a technology. It does not compare apples to apples with the company. But in the case that we are going to compare apples to apples, the company Ripple with these other companies, we're seeing that Ripple right now, net asset value exceeds $100 billion, which is why I asked him the question, how much is Ripple's escrow worth? I don't need to get lost in the weeds talking about sales last year compared to Coca-Cola. How much is the bag of XRP worth? Answer the simple question. Do you think that this guy answered the simple question? Of course not. He did the runaround. As usual. This is why these guys are going to lose. He says it's worth noting that under standard accounting principles that look at corporate valuations, even in 2025, there is no agreement on how to classify digital assets. That's the opportunity. Hello, ding, ding, ding. You got yourself a winner. You got a company with net asset value of $100 billion only being valued at $10 billion before the election. The valuation has doubled since in the past 6 weeks to $20 billion, still an 80% discount to net asset value. 2 + 2 still equals 4, even in new mass, even in Common Core. Talk about educating yourself. Welcome to the new world, a new technology, a new asset class. We are not talking the same setup here. We're not talking about Coca-Cola sales. I'm talking about an asset on their balance sheet that, yes, according to accounting, according to GAAP, generally accepted accounting practices. Let's push up our glasses. Let's sharpen our pencils. Just get a little worked up here. Generally accepted accounting practices. The escrow is marked at 0 on their balance sheet, which is the proper way to do so because they don't have access to it. So you can ask, and we've seen Ripple report this, on their balance sheet, the escrow is actually marked at 0, which is a great thing for them. Great setup for them, right? Because with the new ways that they're changing this, actually with the cost basis and everything, it's a great setup the way that they've done this and the way that they've locked this up in the escrow. The point is, these guys cannot figure out how to value these new companies and these new digital assets. MicroStrategy, for example, is trading at a 3 times premium to net asset value. So if you want to do a comparable to Ripple, Ripple would be trading at a valuation 3 times premium. Well, our valuation would be at 300 billion. Mind you, this is at a $2 XRP. At a $5 XRP, you're talking about a company valuation that's probably $500 billion. At a $10 XRP, the numbers just keep, we're at a $2 XRP talking about a company which at a present net asset value is worth 100 billion. Right now on the secondary market's being valued at 20 billion. And the point being, if you live your life like this, you're not gonna hit it big. You are not gonna hit it big because these are the same guys that never take a risk. They never start that business. They never take that leap of faith. And this is not a leap of faith without fundamentals. This is a leap of faith and a big time investment for us based primarily, exclusively off fundamentals. The technicals are there. Yeah, of course. We can now look at the technicals now that XRP is moving, and it does add to our thesis, but primarily our thesis comes from fundamentals. And this is why folks that lock themselves in these boxes and these ways of thinking, right? They can't expand their way of thinking and consider other possibilities. It's like, nope, if the mainstream media doesn't put it into a headline for me, it can't be true. If Ripple's going to write it down at 0 on their balance sheet, it has to be worth 0. Well, this is why you're losing, because it's not worth 0. The oil in the ground, proven reserves that Saudi Aramco has, that oil in the ground is not worth 0. If it was worth 0, they would never pull it out of the ground. You see what I'm saying? You see how ridiculous these arguments are? And even if you want to discount it, which is fair, we don't know what the price of XRP is going to do. So the bag of XRP that's worth 100 billion at present value, maybe you want to discount it because it's locked in the escrow. The price of XRP might drop. So, instead of trading at a premium to net asset value, maybe it should trade at a discount. Now, should it trade at an 80% discount? Remember, net asset value is 100 billion. The implied valuation on Link2 right now is 20 billion. That's an 80% discount. That's the only point that I'm trying to make, is that is too much of a discount. There's no way you can't, and this is why these guys struggle, is because they can't do an equation that gives you an exact number. They can't do an equation that gives you an absolute answer. And so they just stop. No. This is misleading. This is misinformation. How dare you compare Ripple to a Coca-Cola? How dare you compare Ripple to a Saudi Aramco? Even though their assets are worth more than what that IPO was at 25 billion. Ripple's bag of XRP in their escrow was worth 25 billion when XRP was at 50 cents. Let's check the price. Oh, it's at $2.50, right? So even if you want to discount the asset, you have to acknowledge that the company's undervalued. And you have to acknowledge that, once again, coming at me for spreading misinformation, I can show you right now, Link2 is selling the stock at a $20 billion valuation. That's only $5 billion away from that largest IPO in the history of the world. And this is before all these other catalysts. This is with XRP at 250. This is before Trump comes in. This is before the new Congress comes in. This is before legislation comes in. This is before an XRP ETF. This is while XRP's at 250. And we're already $5 billion away from the largest IPO. And this is why the TradeFi guys are coming in late. And you're seeing that some of them are too wrapped up in their own ego, are too wrapped up in their own money. And it is arrogance. They already have a bag. So they think, oh, there's no way I can be outsmarted by these little XRP guys. 500% swing in the past 2 months. You guys kill for that. You guys kill for 50% returns, let alone 500%. And you're starting to see that some of them have humility. Some of them have grace. Some of them are willing to say that, yes, I got this one wrong. One of those guys right now is Peter Brandt. This is a longtime market trader since 1975. And this is what gets so exciting for me, because Peter Brandt, he's now saying that XRP is the leader of the pack. And he had some back and forth. The XRP community came in roasting him on this tweet and others, because in the past, he was one that said to sell your XRP. And that's the difference between me and many of us in the XRP community and some of these other guys, is if we just don't like a project, I'll just say, hey man, the outlook on ETH for this bull run, it doesn't excite me. It doesn't turn me on. You know, that's just what I'm into. You're into what you're into. I'm into my deal. Okay. It doesn't really get me going. ETH, 2 to 3x, kind of cute. Doesn't really get me going. Okay. But I never have told somebody to sell an asset. I've never even told people to buy XRP. These guys running around saying that I'm spreading all this misinformation. Not once have I ever told somebody, go buy XRP. For all of the bullish content that I've put out about it, that's just me sharing my perspective and my opinion. Not one time. I've said the caveat. I did tell my brothers. Told my brothers, get your crap together and go buy some XRP. I did tell my brothers that, but I get to talk to my brothers like that. Okay. But other than them, I have not told a soul to buy XRP. And I definitely have not told anybody to sell other positions. On some of these other coins, I say, I don't really understand why this coin's pumping so much, but God bless them. Rooting you guys on, It looks to me like pure speculation. It looks to me like it might be a pump and dump. If I was in the asset, I'd probably consider taking some profits, but not going to tell anybody else what to do. But these guys came around telling everybody to sell your XRP. Don't be greedy. You're about to be dumped on. It's stupid. Attacking our basically coming at our intellect, coming at us as a community. And now some of them, not all, but some, are willing to take that hit to the ego, admit that they got it wrong, and ultimately at the end of the day, what drives it is money. Because these guys, the only thing that they won't let get in the way of is making more money. And so that's why they're coming in. And now you're starting to see they went from hating on XRP to now they put out these tweets saying that XRP is the leader of the pack. And this is the difference between these TradeFi guys and our community of misfits. Call us the cult, call us the crazies. It was all conspiracy, wasn't it? Well, it was all conspiracy until we started to make massive gains and we were vindicated on so much. And so these TradeFi guys don't know how to value the company Ripple. They don't know how to value XRP. They didn't take the time to research the fundamentals and scoop up XRP like we did while it was at 20, 30, 40, 50 cents. We had opportunities to buy XRP below $1 for years. We scooped it up. We took advantage. And his excuse is I didn't invest back in XRP back then because I can't, expose myself to losing 70 or 80 or 90% of my capital, which I get. For a lot of these guys that have their big bag of money, when they move into an allocation, when they make a move, they don't expose themselves to something that, could be a 50% hit. But once again, that's why the TradeFi guys are missing out on these opportunities. They don't have the what to invest in an asset that, it might go down 50%, but it also just went up 500%. So we took the 50% hits, laughing our way back to the exchange where we hit the buy button, scooping up 25-cent XRP, 4-for-1 special, 3-for-1 special, 2-for-1 special, XRP at $1. We had 3 opportunities to buy XRP back below $2. Now we move higher. Hopefully you took advantage of it. And I'm all here for building bridges with these other guys. You know, like I said, if they're willing to come in, you know, admit when they got it wrong, say sorry for, you know, some of the stuff that they've done, whatever. Okay, it's water under the bridge. Come on in and start pumping it up, because these guys have gone from haters to now pumping it up. These guys went from pumping up Solana to now coming into XRP memes. These institutions were only eyeing Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now they're taking a look at XRP. And this is what's been happening behind closed doors. And once again, these guys are fair weather fans. Now that XRP is the flavor of the day, now that XRP is the leader of the pack, you saw Moonboy Carl goes long XRP with $1 million, right? You saw what was the Crypto going long XRP with millions of dollars, right? They go from Moon Carl was saying that XRP was going to zero. Him and Da Vinci. You guys remember that one? And they're so cringe with their content, but okay, it's whatever. So cringe. Hey, Carl, can you tell me where XRP is going? Oh, yes, Da Vinci, I'll tell you. It's going to zero. Like, who does this, man? You guys are supposed to be grown men, right? These guys cracked me up, man. And where did XRP go? Well, it went far from zero, right? And so the point being, as I titled this episode here tonight, I want to get into you guys' Q&A before I rant on any further. XRP is absolutely ready to run. These guys have not been prepared for it. Some of them are getting on board. I'm not here to save these guys anymore. These guys consider themselves sophisticated traders, investors, big shots, big money, big Moon, big Carl. You got it wrong on XRP, but the good news for a lot of these guys is they have M's in the bank account that they get to put behind their bet. So when they come in on XRP and they buy at $2 and $3, they can invest big bucks to where they don't need to see such a big move to make a considerable bag, right? Whereas for us, for the regular person that was able to allocate 10,000 over the past 3 years, dollar cost averaging a few $100 every paycheck, and they were able to scoop up that 20-cent and 30-cent XRP despite the FUD that these guys were putting out, that's who's going to win the biggest, right? That's going to be the biggest winners of this run and of this move for XRP that we're now starting to see, is those of us that took advantage while this sucker was down at 50 cents and it was nothing but XRP FUD. There were no green candles. You know, we were begging for XRP to do anything. Go down, for crying out loud. Just do something. Go up, go down, just move. And it was a non-stop flow of FUD, of misinformation, despite the great fundamentals that we were seeing. And that's what led us, with real research, real education, allowing us to invest with real conviction. Not coming in to be a fair weather fan like the rest of these guys. And these guys can come in late to the party because they already got a bag. Some of us in the community didn't, we're not starting investing in XRP with millions to work with. We were dollar cost averaging. We were scraping to get by. I was just talking about it on our Discord weekly call again on Saturday about how for years I ran my accounts down to zero buying XRP back before wifey and everything, when I was just a little guy out here making my moves. I ran my accounts down to nothing buying XRP, right? And so we have prepared ourselves for this moment. Now is the time to be locked in, focused, all this stuff. I don't care who gets on board at this point for these guys, these sophisticated traders, investors, and all that. If they get on board, that's fine. For me, it's always been about the regular person, the regular investor, the whatever the situation may be. right? The dad that's just trying to stack away something for his family, the single mom that's trying to get some investments going for her family, for the folks that have a nest egg of a couple $1,000,000, but they want to see their retirement grow a little bit more so that they can give back a little bit more in the last phase of their life. Whatever this story may be, we got real ones in the XRP community. And whether your bag's big or small, we gotta appreciate what our community has been through in preparation for this moment and this week that we're about to enter right now. Because let me bring it back to what this is all about here. This XRP being ready to run. This week is it. XRP, we needed it to close above $2.40. We got $2.50. Now we're ready to move back up towards $3. My prediction is still intact and it's still looking really good that we're going to see an all-time high for XRP this month. Over the next couple weeks. We just got a couple weeks left to go. Now, I would have been worried if we were still back at $2 and still hanging out down there, but we're following the 2017 fractal. We got our weekly close above $2.40. We got our yearly close above $2, the highest yearly close in XRP's history. Perfectly primed and lined up for the week ahead, where on Wednesday, January 15th, the appeal briefs are due. Watch closely here because this is going to be a run-up in my opinion. If they do file the appeal, we could see a sell-off, right? It's still a good chance that they file this appeal and they actually go through with it. But what you have to remember is that even if they file this appeal, Gary Gensler is gone just 4 days later on January 19th. President Trump is in 5 days later, the next day on January 20th. So despite what happens this week, whether or not they filed the appeal, this case is over. New SEC Chair Paul Atkins is coming in. New SEC commissioners are coming in. The most pro-crypto Congress in history is coming in. President Trump's coming in. This is over. This case is over, whether or not they filed the appeal briefs or not. But if they don't, we are going to be off to the races. And even if they do file the appeal, we could still be off to the races just based on that anticipation and run up towards Gary Gensler stepping down, because the perception will be that basically many people in the crypto space forget that Jay Clayton filed the lawsuit. Most people's attention is just on Gary Gensler. So seeing Gary Gensler step down, resign, and gone out of the picture, the perception will be that XRP is now free. That the XRP lawsuit is over, along with other crypto lawsuits are going to be wrapped up and concluded. And so I believe that you're going to see the broader market recover. XRP is going to be leading this rally. I just want to make sure that our community is ready to go. Despite everything that they have, all the distractions, we got weather events, we got a liquidity crisis looming, we got a war going on that's still hot. There's a lot of bumps along the road here, but the XRP path is about as smooth as it gets and is one of the paths that goes the furthest as far as the gains yet to come for our XRP investment. With that being said, I want to get into Q&A. How are you guys doing tonight? I see I got to catch up on some more super chats. Oh, crap. I hope I didn't miss them. I see we got some coming in here. Let me check them real quick. Just wanted to make sure. We've got another one here. Slinky with the 5 spot. Can't wait for the banks to get on the digital asset train and allow home loans using XRP. Absolutely, it's coming. 100%. Yeah. Nate Forth, I got you next. LB, thank you for the 10 spot. Why would Ripple pay a settlement if they won? Or maybe I misunderstood. So basically the settlement would be agreeing that the case is not going to go on with appeal. The judge has ruled that they have to pay $125 million. And so that basically, there's no reason for the SEC to accept less when they've already been awarded that by the judge, right? Now, the SEC could say, hey, you know, we're going to drop this appeal. You drop your appeal. Let's settle it for $125 million. We're good to go. We can wipe our hands clean. We get a big fat check. We're off to the races, right? But the judge has already awarded that penalty. That's already been awarded, $125 million. Ripple has to pay that. The only way that Ripple wouldn't have to pay that is if they go through with their appeal and they ended up winning on that. Then they could maybe get a judge to say that, yes, that judgment is not appropriate. You guys do not owe $125 million. But Ripple, I think, would be happy to pay the $125 million if the case gets to end today and they have clarity on how they can sell XRP going forward. So, LB, thank you for the super chat and that question and allowing me to clarify that further. Yeah, so you know, the settlement would basically just be we're settling up, we're agreeing that the appeals are not going to go forward. That's what it would be. Nate 4, thank you for the 20 spot. Been watching you consistently fight for the XRP community for years and come out on top. Keep doing what you're doing, man. Truth will prevail. God bless. Nate, I appreciate your support. I appreciate those comments. We're not going anywhere. The job's not finished. Not even close. We're just getting started. The momentum behind our community. I mean, these guys, these guys are upset with us now. Just wait. Peaky. Peaky says, that's why communities are important. Attention and where to put it is important. Becoming distracted by those who have the high-rise view already. It's not conducive to growth, focus, and drive. And that's the point. Exactly, Peaky, right? It's like, we can't get upset. We can't really get too excited about these other guys coming in. All I like to see is the attention. The attention that they're bringing is net positive for XRP. So, you know, like I said, I'm too busy. We're too busy with what we're working on, right? To worry about whether or not some of these guys get it or not. We've been putting it out there. It's them. It's up for the taking. Whether or not they want to join the party or not, that's okay. You know, it is nice to see though that, you know, Peter Brandt, he put out a tweet saying that he's extending the olive branch out. He said, yeah, I took some shots from the XRP community. You know, I understand that. I'm trying to extend out the olive branch and I want to move forward. And that's good. I like to see that. You're seeing Charles Hoskinson from Cardano. He's trying to come in, right? You saw Chainlink, and that was funny to see, right? The Chainlink guys were calling us the dead chain, the zombie chain, until it's time to partner up with Ripple for RLUSD. And then, okay, we got some business. Let's partner up with Ripple and let's get some action over here on the XRP Ledger, right? So now Chainlink is hopping on board. Love to see it. Come on in. Julian Ruiz, too late to buy more XRP as a young investor. Julian, I would not consider it too late because in my opinion, XRP, this bull run is going $5 to $10 conservatively. So even at 250, you have a chance to double up, triple up, or better this bull run. And if we extend up to $20, you would be looking at nearly a 10 bagger for XRP. So you're not late for this bull run. But then the long-term perspective of XRP going to much, much higher prices, you're not late at all, right? I know a lot of folks think that I'm talking about way too conservative of numbers, and we need to be talking about 3, 4, and 5 digits. And I like talking about 3, 4, and 5 digits. Don't get me wrong. I love talking about 3-digit XRP. I love talking about $10,000 XRP. But, you know, the same folks are going to come in. And if XRP tops out at $20 this bull run, comes back down to $5, they might be destroyed and wrecked and end up giving up on XRP without understanding that we still believe in much higher prices for XRP down the road, which is the camp that I'm in. Like I said, I don't think that we go past $30 XRP until we have institutional liquidity at scale. Exactly. Yeah. You guys know some of these other guys too. Yeah. And it's been funny to watch. It has. Now we had some other ones here. I don't want to miss them. You guys can drop comments, questions down below. If you guys haven't already, please make sure that you have liked this video. I don't, some of you guys make some funny comments. Have I had time to analyze Sol and Core? No, but I will this week because I've been meaning to do that one for a while, and I know that they just had an announcement of a new CEO of Corium, and so I'll drop that this week. I'll be honest, guys. I never prioritize those videos because they do so poorly from an engagement perspective, and that's obviously the business that I'm in. But I know that they are very valuable, right? When I do deep dives on these other things, and so I will provide the update on Sologenic and Corium. Honestly, a lot of these projects, there's not enough cooking for me to cover, right? It's like I can make like maybe a 60-second update on some of these projects, but some of them are not worthy of a deep dive. But Sologenic and Corium, they're worthy of an update. I will acknowledge that. So yeah, I'll give you an update on Sologenic and Corium this week. Anderson, thank you for the super chat. I missed the super chat. I want to go back here. Where did that one go? You guys are lighting up the chat here tonight. Let me go check it over here and make sure I didn't miss that. Any other comments, questions? What is XRP at right now? Bitcoin at 94.4. XRP at $2.51. Love to see it. Any other comments, questions? Really solid. Where did my super chats go? Okay, there we go. Now I got them. Okay. Okay, we got Slinky. Dennis came in with the 5 spot. Damn right, Zach. I am a 40-year vet of Wall Street. We do our own research, then we help each other for once. Retail is early and institutions are late. 100% spot on, Dennis. And that's the point. That's what I love about this community. Is you got blue collar folks, you got folks that come from nothing, that scrape by to just be able to stack a few thousand XRP. And then you got big hitters that came in, right? And, they're investing, I got folks that threw their whole retirement account at XRP, which a little worrisome to me, right? But hey, I did the same thing. But the difference is I was 25 throwing every last dollar I had at XRP. I didn't throw the whole nest egg, but that's played out pretty dang well so far for those that did, okay? So everybody's in a different position, but the great thing here is that we've come together and we've fought through all of the FUD, everything that's come against us. Now, I almost missed it. Property One Vegas, I knew that you had dropped one there. Zach, you think that we get Dan Pena on? Just thinking. Thank you for the 50 spot. I appreciate you, my friend. Now, Dan, because Dan, and for those of you guys who don't know, I'm talking about Dan Pena. He is my mentor for business and life. He got absolutely cleaned in the election. So he was running for parliament. I think it might have been county. He was running for Angus County there in Scotland. That's where he lives. He got just cleaned in the election, just an absolute landslide. And so that was funny to watch him get humbled in the election. But now he had cleared out his calendar for 4 years because he was planning on going into politics. So he only had like a few more Castle seminars that he was going to do. And then he was going to be done basically doing the Castle seminars. He was going to be done doing public speaking. It was all going to be politics. But now that since he lost that election, now he's coming in doing Castle seminars again. Now he's doing podcast interviews. And so I think, yeah, there's no reason why I can't get Dan on. I haven't really tried to. But yeah, there's no reason why we can't. Yeah, we definitely should. I definitely should have that as a goal. I want to go to his castle just to be able to give back to him. I can take away, so much from Dan just in the free content that he puts out. But his seminar is about $30,000 US to go attend. And so it's obviously a chunk of change. But I do want to go there just to be able to give back to him and acknowledge and thank him for what he's taught me. But I wasn't planning on being able to because I thought that he was going to stop doing the seminars. but now that he is not in politics, he's going to keep on doing them as long as he lives. And so as long as the stubborn old man keeps on kicking for a while, I can save up my shekels and hopefully go make it over there at some point to go see him in the castle and go do the castle seminar. I went to go see him. He did a free seminar in what's that, Kansas? No, what is that, Missouri? I forget where I went. Here in the U.S. Oh, it was Nebraska. That's right. A couple years ago, I flew out to Omaha, Nebraska to go listen to Dan speak when he was doing, he did a free seminar right before he went to the Berkshire Hathaway meeting with Warren Buffett. One of the few stocks that he actually owns is Berkshire Hathaway, I believe. Other than that, he's just in cash. But yeah, Property One, I'd love to have Dan on, and I think that I should be able to get him on. Now he's doing podcast interviews again, and that would be a lot of fun. A lot of fun to interview with Dan. Yash, thank you. Did we go over East Creator crapping on XRP? Yeah, they all have. They come, they go. They still are trying to fight XRP, and it's not working out, right? And as I said, the worst case for ETH right now, we're getting smart contract functionality without smart contracts. We're getting memes. This is everything that Ethereum had. This is everything that Solana had that we didn't have. They were running the show, and now we're seeing .eth profiles hopping in on XRP. These guys are saying, I just bought $100,000 worth of XRP memes. I mean, these guys are full-on degenerates. But come on in. You want to spend $100,000 on XRP memes? God bless you. Go ahead. Be my friend. Be my guest. Okay? It's not something that I would do. Is his castle in Lisbon? No, it's in Scotland. 600. I'm not even going to say the number. It's 666. 600 feet above sea level. He says that was strategic so that no matter how many floods we get, he'd still be above sea level. Miss Priss dropped a 5 spot at 70. I'm not looking for a long hold, more interested in passive income. Well, there you go. We're going to have XRP DeFi exploding this year for you. This is going to be the year of XRP DeFi. So hang tight, Miss Priss. You're going to have passive income on XRP available to you later this year. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for all the super chats. Okay, I think that I got them all. Going through here for one last check to make sure. Matthew Martins was the first one here tonight. Matthew, I almost missed you, but I circled back. 51st state here, Canada in the house. The test, Bitcoin is over. Time for XRP to full send. I'm not ready. This is your first bull run. Well, welcome. Thank you for the 7 spot. Thank you for the super chat, and welcome to the party. Strap yourself in because we still have a long ways to go in this XRP run. We still have a long ways to go. Michael, thank you for the 20 spot. Appreciate that. Love ya. Anderson, thank you for the 2 spot. What's your opinion on H-bar? Do you hold any? Yes, I came in late, kicking myself. Should have bought it under 5 cents. I bought it for 26 cents. I'm looking for that sucker to pump up towards $1.50, $2 this bull run for H-bar. Love it. Love it. I'm in. Should have been under 5 cents. Kicking myself, but we don't win them all. So shout out to the H-Barbarians in the house. The H-Barbarians. God bless you. Samson, thank you for the 5 spot. How much XRP and crypto got burned or lost in these LA fires? Some did. We're hearing stories. It's not about losing the device. It's about losing the seed phrases, which a lot of you guys have your seed phrase written down on paper, and that's the mistake. Now, I'm going to get an updated affiliate link for my buddy Tyler in the Ty project because he sells arc plates, which are these fireproof plates. They're basically, they're not made out of silver, but they're similar to a bar of silver, right? They're a little bit thinner. And I think they're made out of fire grade titanium, stainless steel. And it allows you to punch in your seed phrase into these. And so you don't just have to have your seed phrase on a piece of paper. You can have it on a fireproof arc plate, and he makes them for the Zaman wallet, and he also makes them for just other, your Ledger, any other cold storage device, where it allows you to basically pound into the bar your seed phrase. And so you can, safely secure your seed phrases. So in the event of a fire like this, if you have your seed phrase written down on paper, that goes up in smoke, you still got this as a backup, and it's pounded down in there, and it's absolutely fireproof. So that's a real utility there. I got to update my affiliate link there with Tyler, I think, but nonetheless, I do have his website listed. If you go to zachrector.com, it is available there. But that's a great utility, a great product for everybody. And in fact, I'm about to add, I've been meaning to add some, but I'm about to go buy the Zaman XL, because the Zaman XL allows you to put in the seed phrase for a couple different wallets on Zaman. So if you're like me, I got a couple different XRP Ledger wallets. All right, so I'm going to be buying the XL from Tyler, and I'm going to be securing it over there. That's a great product. Great question, though. It's not about the devices getting burned, because if the device gets destroyed, as long as you still have your seed phrase, you can just get a new ledger, you can just get a new cold storage wallet, and you can get access to your bag. But if your seed phrase got destroyed, well, then you're screwed. So yeah, there was crypto that was lost. Yeah. And the fires and that damage is done, there's going to cause more sell pressure on cryptos as well, too. You got a guy who lost everything, lost his house, and he has some liquidity over here for, in Bitcoin and cryptos. That could cause some sell pressure. And I think that we kind of already saw that. There already was some sell pressure on Bitcoin. We came down to 91,000 last week. So that kind of already hit. And I think that we hopefully have seen the worst of the impact on crypto. But like I said, if this does impact, we got a little bit more ripple effects that spread out from the insurance industry into small and regional banks. We aren't going to be through it completely. A bit off subject, what do you see for Ripple stock price? Novel. Thank you for the 10 spot. A good question. I already talked about it earlier. Many members of our community were able to get Ripple equity at $20 per share, $20 to $30 per share. And I'm so happy for everybody that did, because now it's trading at $117 per share on Link2, which is a $20.2 billion valuation. This is a valuation that was at about $10 billion before the election. And then in the past, basically 6-7 weeks since the election, the valuation has doubled. Now it's available on Link2 at a $20.2 billion valuation. $117 is the stock price per share. And so you got members of our community that were able to pick up Ripple equity, and they're already up by 4 and 5x. And this is, like I talked about earlier, a company with a net asset value just on their XRP of 100 billion. They have $1 billion cash. They have just launched their stablecoin business, which could provide billions of dollars of profit per year just through that source of revenue. You add in the custody business. I don't know what the numbers look like on that, but that's another source of revenue. So I'm just looking at this, and I'm no, I'm no, guy that comes from traditional finance where I need to stay in these old ways of valuing these companies. I can look outside the box and acknowledge that, yeah, for accounting purposes, Ripple's escrow is marked down at 0, but anybody who can, just add 2 plus 2 can see that this asset is not worth 0. This asset is worth $100 billion. Even if you want to discount it, it's still worth more than the valuation at 20 billion, which allows me to confidently say that the company's undervalued at a $20 billion valuation, which allows me to sit back here comfortably hanging out with you guys and say that they're going to have the largest IPO in the history of the world. And I say that without flinching. I say that without hesitation. I have no concerns about saying that. we're already $5 billion away without all these other catalysts that we have lined up in the pipeline down the road for the rest of this year. It's pretty, I'm able to say that pretty confidently. Further comments, questions, keep them coming. I think I did get updated on the super chats. I appreciate all the support. Let me refresh our chat. We got just shy of 6,000 people in the house tonight between YouTube, X, and TikTok. 6,000 viewers tonight. God bless every single one of you guys. Thank you so much. Ripple doesn't even need to go public, Shane. That's a great point. Chris, I was hoping you came in tonight, Chris. It is midnight. What is it? Yeah, 9 o'clock on the West Coast, midnight Eastern. Australians are having dinner. And you guys, where's everybody else tuning in from tonight? Chris, I need to talk to you, though, because I'm curious. Where'd it go? I still got it here, Chris. I'm curious of who did. Was it Crypto Tunes? I think it was Crypto Tunes that did the Simpson character NFTs and the Simpson characters that you did on the merch, Chris. So, Chris, I was thinking of you earlier, and I was hoping you stopped by the stream tonight because I got a question for you. Who did the Simpson characters on the NFTs? Do you know? Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about right here. Chris gave me this. Shout out to Chris. This is from XRP Las Vegas, the first one in 2023. And it was buried in my closet. And I finally did some New Year's cleaning. And I had 2 bags from the first XRP Las Vegas that had just been sitting in my closet collecting dust. And I opened those suckers up and I was like, wow, there's a bunch of cool stuff in here, including this koozie that my good friend Chris got me. It was on the ETH chain. It was Crypto Tunes, and he did it on ETH. Okay. Now, does he have? I got to ask him. The proper forum this conversation shouldn't be happening on a live stream, but I'm gonna write this down so I don't forget. Crypto Tunes, because I want to know if he has the law. I don't think he does. And if he does, I'd like to get permission or whatever, because we need to be pumping out some XRP Simpson character merch. This is some of the best. This is some of the best, right? Those are some of the best pictures that were ever done with Gary Gensler, looking like Mr. Burns, David Schwartz, Brad, Chris, Judge Annalisa Torres. There's a lot to be done. And I told you, Chris, when I saw you, I said, man, you got to be pumping out this merch. So we got to get it. We got some stuff coming. We're in the process of uploading this one. This is the most recent Bearable Guy picture. We're going to be uploading this one only available in black because it looks so much better in black than it does white. I'll show you guys. I actually had my guy mock it up on white first. But the problem is the clouds. See, the clouds kind of just blend, right? They kind of get washed out there into the white. It just doesn't hit like it does on the black. So on this shirt, this will be the only color option will be black available on this one. And I was worried about how well the detail would come out because, as you guys know, these pictures are not the best quality, right? They kind of have that pixelated effect to them. But the details came out really clean on this one, even better on the XRP Castle one. And then I'm going to go back to the other Bearable Guy pictures too. Like the one with the ship, the Perseverance ship. We'll do that one. The greenhouse, I like the greenhouse one too. That was Christmas of 2023. And then this one is from this year. And then the XRP Castle was actually one of the first ones back from 2016, was the furthest back I could find it on the Bearable Guy Reddit back in 2016. I'm telling you guys, whether you believe in the riddles and all that, it doesn't matter. I'm telling you, every single community in crypto wishes that they had this story behind them, wishes that they had this lore, this this narrative, right? These tales. Every single other crypto wishes that they had this storyline, this plot that we got. You know, how many coincidences before it's mathematically impossible, right? How many coincidences can you see and observe before you sit down and say, it is mathematically impossible for this to just be a coincidence? What we got right here, this is going to be added to the website too. I didn't know how well this one was going to turn out either. This is Brad's tattoo. Now, I need to see proof. I need to see it in the flesh, because I still don't believe that Brad Garlinghouse has this tattoo. I'm still a non-believer that Brad has this tattoo. Okay. But if he does, that's really badass. I didn't know how this one was going to turn out, but it actually turned out really good. And so we're going to offer this one on the gray and the white. This is Brad's tattoo, and it has some symbolism in there. I haven't even done the decode on this. I'll leave this to the other decoders. After I had my family, I stopped doing decodes, right? I just said, I'll leave this up to the other guys. I'm too busy in my business and doing some other stuff, cleaning up after some children, that I'll leave it up to the other decoders. But what I like about this one is it has the date, right? You got the date put on there, 7/13/2023, the day that XRP got the ruling that it was not a security. Of course, we got the Better Bitcoin. We got the XRP family. The Trump XRP has been the best seller. Like I said, these guys thought it was just a riddle. These guys thought it was just a meme. Till we pumped 500%. Now they're starting to see that it is a way of life. We're just getting started. Enough on the merch. So, sorry, I had to get the plug in. You guys know I don't have any sponsors. I'm only supported through you guys. So, I am my own sponsor. No such thing as coincidence. It's mathematically impossible. Yep. Costa Rica. Good to see you. Yes, you have to be an accredited investor to be able to get private equity. Chris owns the rights. I'll send all the info. You can utilize it. Oh, do you guys hear that? The Simpson merch is on the way. We're going to have a lot of fun. Chris is going to hit me with the deal, though. He's going to say, yeah, I'll give you the IP. It's going to cost you $1 million up front. And I'll say, okay, Chris, do you accept XRP? Chris, that I still have your shirt from whatever local bar or whatever, what was it? Why can't I think of it? The local bar that you gave me out of North Carolina there. It was like, what's the name of the place? I still have it. That's a nice white long sleeve. I still got that. And then the other shirt that you gave me, I still got that one. I love our community, man. Our community is so much fun. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Bradford. Bradford gave me this little coin. Okay, that's a cool little coin. But even better, even more cool than this, Bradford at the XRP conference, he's showing up. He's got his suit. He's got a custom suit, and the liner on the inside of his jacket's all XRP. That's some of the coolest stuff I've ever seen. Guys got the custom XRP suits. Got the XRP koozies. Thank you. Okay, super chat checks. Daniel popped in here with the 20 spot. Daniel, thank you so much. Appreciate that. God bless you. Peaky says, my last super chat is in there somewhere. Peaky, I'm working back. I got you. Won't forget about you, brother. A bit off subject. Okay, we got that one. Oh, see, you guys have just been making it rain here tonight. I've been missing you guys. Okay, Peaky dropped another 10 spot. What I love about the Peaky blinders is that the underdog gypsies leveraged everyone's underestimation of them. And so it is with the XRP community. In no other community will you find this ability. Well said, brother. Well said. And that's exactly it. It's like our community has leaned into this, and the shots that have been sent our way, the arrows that we have in our back have only made us stronger. And it reminds me of you know, some of these guys that are super quiet, right? And they don't make a peep. And then when you trigger them, right? And then these guys lose their minds. And these guys, they're like the quiet giant, right? That's the XRP community. I actually got that nickname back when I was playing basketball, the quiet giant. Basically, you know, you trigger them, you tick them off just enough, you can hit them. And they'll allow you to smack them once or twice. They'll allow you to poke them a couple times. And eventually they get to a point where they just lose it. They just lose it. And that's the XRP community, right? We took it for years and years and years. And now we just let the price action speak for itself. We just let the mass adoption speak for itself. We let the utility speak for itself, right? We don't have to hype this sucker up. But now we got Chainlink hyping it up for us. We got ETH Bros, Soul Bros hyping it up for us. We got the memesters hyping it up for us. We got the Bit Lords. We got the Bit Boys. Who's the supreme leader? Doesn't matter. They're bringing us more attention, bringing us more money. Come on in. We're not going anywhere. And we stood tall when we were taking the shots, when we were battling the FUD, when we were in the trenches side by side here. And what these guys have tried to say is our weakness, is us in the XRP army spreading all this nonsense, is actually what was our strength. Acknowledged by David in the tweet that I shared here tonight. What Ripple, Brad, and David couldn't say, what they had a gag order on, and the lawyer said, no, you guys don't go, you guys can go to the spaces, and you guys can go have a proper party, but you're not allowed to comment on this, and this. You guys can go have fun, but don't comment on this. You guys can drop a bearable guy post, but don't you dare comment on this part of the legal case, right? This is where the XRP community came in, and we started to dig. Could Ripple go into Bill Hinman? Could Ripple go in? No. But what Ripple did do is when we discovered Bill Hinman and we started to dive into ETHgate, Ripple could then file for those documents. And then they started to say, oh, wow, our community found something here, Judge. Judge, could you take a look at what our community's found over here? That's from the same community that signed on to this lawsuit to become a friend of the court to support our cause. 75,000 holders with our good friend John Deaton. Yeah, those guys, they have an interest in this case. And you should take a look. They looked into our boy here, Billy Boy Hinman, and there's some skeletons in the closet that are relevant to this case. And from this, we exposed everything. And this is why I say that what they view as our weaknesses, what they view as us spreading stupid narratives, actually turned out to be why we won one of the biggest legal battles in the cryptocurrency space, and why we get to tell one of the best stories in the financial world in the past 100 years. The reason why we are all part of something that's the biggest story, one of the biggest stories in financial markets in the past 100 years, is because of this community effort, not just based off of what Ripple has done, but what we have done together. And that's what these guys can't stand to see, you know? Now, Dennis, thank you for another 5 spot. Again, you can buy Ripple by buying Seagate. They own 5% from round A carried at pennies on the balance sheet. Why pay link to $117? Dennis, I've seen you commenting that, and I meant to look into that. So is Seagate a public company? Is that what you're talking about? I've seen you make this comment a couple times now about Seagate invested in Ripple. So if we invest in Seagate, we can get exposure to that XRP. The other way, I don't know if SBI is a public company. Is SBI public? Because they have exposure to... Yes, SBI Holdings is a public company listed on the Tokyo Stock Exchange. So that's another way, right? If you're not an accredited investor, you would be able to go to the public market over there in Japan and you could buy SBI Holdings, or you could buy this company, Seagate. Is that Brad G stream currently going on a scam YouTube? Yes, yeah, definitely a scam. Brad will, I don't want to say Brad will never do a YouTube live show because he could. But anything that you're seeing right now like that's a scam for sure. And they're probably running that on this YouTube stream right now. So stay safe out there. Nobody's going to double up your XRP for you. Okay? You send somebody your XRP with the promise that they're going to double it up for you, they're going to take your XRP. Okay? Watch out for these scammers. All right. Gosh, we've already gone for 2 hours. How did that happen? I didn't even drink half my adult beverage. How did this happen? How did we do this? It's almost 9:30 and we still got half an adult beverage to finish. Seagate values $15 billion. Where are they traded? Are they traded on the public stock exchange here? Naval, remember all, we are the 1%ers, the 0.1%ers. Yeah. Very few people. Very few people hold this asset. Did you smash the like button yet? Sacred Terra, that's a good question. Have you smashed the like button yet? Drink faster. I always do this to myself. Literally, like half the time when I kill the stream, I still have like over half my adult beverage. Almost every time. I just get ranting and raving and forget to take a sip. Southern Boy says, throw that hot beer away and get a cold one. Now, no affiliate, no sponsor. Wifey did get me this Stanley Cup, which I think the Stanley Cup hype is just that. It's a lot of hype, a lot of silliness, whatever. But I'll be damned if this thing doesn't keep the drink cold, because this thing does a fantastic job of keeping it cold. I actually had a root beer in here the other night. I poured up some root beer in here with some ice, poured myself a little A&W root beer. I know that that's crap, but, you know, give myself a little treat. I didn't finish it. I passed out watching a movie with wifey. I wake up, there's still ice cubes in this sucker the next day, the next morning. And there's no lid on this thing either. But just the insulation on this cup keeps it nice and cool. So at least we got that working for us. STX is the ticker. That's interesting. I'll have to take a look. You know, that's another great way to get exposure to, you know, Ripple equity. Would be able to go to SBI, would be able to go to that company that you mentioned there. And if you actually look through the list, there might be some other companies that you could get some exposure to that indirectly would get you exposure to Ripple equity as well. I'm trying to think of some of the other companies that invested early on. I mean, obviously, Google Ventures invested in Ripple early on. Very small portion, though. I'd have to look into their cap table more closely to see who else was on that. And it's obviously changed over the years. But, yeah, it's a good point. Good point. Same as the Yetis. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yep, they've perfected the keeping it cold. Now, whether or not it's slow leaking some other stuff, who knows, right? I laugh because I'm all into the health stuff and I get it all. I get everything that they're trying to do to us, right? Um, but I let wifey manage that side of life. I let wifey take care of that, and she does a really good job. Um, but I laugh because I'm just too much into the financial markets and making money that I don't really do too much research on all of that on the health stuff, other than from time to time I will watch, documentaries and shows, and I'll read threads. I have a whole on my Twitter bookmarks, I have a whole thread on health. And so and we created a whole health channel for our Discord group. And so we have a lot of good content on that. It's just when you spend so much time in the markets, I mean, you don't got time to study every last thing, right? But thankfully I got wifey covering that aspect. A lot of pool comms pointing to 113, 589, 17. Yeah. I think that the next 10 days are just it's just going to be one big event after another. Yeah. How's the gardening business? Still alive? Yeah, business is still really well. I've actually made my exit from the property service business. So I no longer participate in that business. I was able to finalize my exit from that business here at the end of this year, but it's still doing really well. It's going to continue to service our community. Really proud. I'm coming up on the 10-year anniversary. I actually started the company in 2015. So I was able to hand it off to my business partner. It's in very good hands, and it's going to continue. It's going to continue growing. Yeah, really, really blessed with how that worked out. Really blessed with how that worked out. Yeah. I actually kind of miss parts of it. It still is weird to me. For the last 10 years of my life, I would drive around this county every single day, scouting out properties, looking at jobs, being in the game. You know what I'm saying? In the trenches. That was my trenches. And I was in there every single day. And now it is so weird to me to one, like nobody called me or texted me today. Like I used to get calls every single day. You get a lot of spam. If you have a business line, you know what I'm talking about. You get all these spam calls every single day. Now, nobody calls me. Nobody texts me. It's just amazing. I'm like, it's just great. Like, wow, nobody's actually trying to get a hold of me, right? And so that's been the biggest adjustment for me is now when I go drive around, I'm like, it's like, I want to look at these properties and look, oh, there's a company doing this site. We installed that landscape a few years ago. I wonder how it's holding up. And now it's weird to like kind of be out of the game. You know what I'm saying? But now the hustle continues in digital format. And that's why we're going to have such a massive year this year, guys. You have to understand, for the last 4 years, I've been doing all this part-time. I've been doing my media part-time while I'm in my business in the trenches over there full-time. And then I would do this at night on top of family and everything else, right? This has been part-time for me up until now. We're going into 2025 full-time, locked in. We're just getting started. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap up this session, though, before we go for 3 hours here tonight. Appreciate everybody for stopping by. Zach, these outros could make great shorts, by the way. I know, Peaky, we should be going back and clipping up some of these, huh? We should. Repurposing some of these and it really, it's because it's a natural response. It's an organic stream of consciousness. That's what this is, right? It's the back and forth. That's what's fun. And you guys bring out the best in me, and I bring out the best in you guys. You know, I had somebody comment the other day and they said, Zach, for as motivating as you are, I'm still scared. And I was like, man, I feel that. I really do feel that, because that's how I am too, right? It's not that I don't have some concerns, right? And I definitely don't let the fear bog me down. We don't want to get into a spot where we don't take any action out of fear, right? But I feel you, because I'm, you know, as more inspired than I've ever been, more motivated than I've ever been, and yeah, it's really great. Everything's cooking. We got a lot of momentum, but at the same time, it's like there's still some problems over the horizon that we still got to face. And so that's what makes this interesting, right? If God allowed all of us to just get rich easy, get rich quick, then that wouldn't even be fun. That wouldn't be interesting, right? Part of this journey, and I think it's kind of a cliche now. It's overused, right? You know, it's not about the what is it? It's not about the end result. It's about the journey. Yeah, kind of. I can appreciate that. I really do. And I will say, you want to get to a spot in life. Like for me, I am excited about tomorrow, Monday. And that to me is the spot that I wish that everybody could get to. You can get to that spot without having $1 million in the bank account too, right? Getting to a spot where you wake up looking forward to the next day, and when you wake up looking forward to Monday, and when you look forward to your work, when your work literally doesn't feel like work anymore. I wish that for everybody, because that's the best spot to be in, man. I love Sundays because I get to spend time with my family, laid back, nice, good day. But then I also get to prep and prepare for that next week. And I look forward to Mondays. Like, we're back in the game. Everybody else goes back to work. Markets are going to open back up. We start cooking again, right? I'm excited to get back to work on Monday, right? And if I could say anything, it's to get yourself in that position to love what you do, right? Because then no matter what happens, you're still going to wake up with that purpose. You're still going to be, have your intentions. They're going to keep you locked in and focused on your end goal, keeping you on that path, no matter what distractions hit, no matter what problems hit. Now, when bad stuff happens to me in my life, I just look at it as the next challenge that God has put into my life to make me stronger, right? This is my next test. This is the next challenge. We will overcome this. This will not stop me. This will not end me. This is not even going to put me backwards. I'm not even going to let it put me backwards. We're not even going to let it stall us out. We're actually just going to keep pushing through. We're going to keep building, keep growing. And it's because I've gotten to a spot where we love what we do. And we have real purpose behind what we're doing. There's real intent behind it. It's very clear. And when I first started 4 years ago making content, basically I was just trying to get out the facts about XRP and fight through the FUD. Here we are 4 years later, and I've gotten to see the impact that I've had on thousands of people, being able to reach out and touch hundreds of thousands and even millions of people seeing my content. And knowing that I've been able to do that just doing this hustle part-time. Now we get to go and do it full-time. Sky's the limit. We're going to impact millions of people, right? Yep. Just reading some of your guys' comments there, and I did see Ninja dropped a chat there. What did I see? Somebody just commented. I lost it. Okay. But I did see that Neo Ninja. God bless you, brother. Good to see you, Ninja. One of the OGs in our community. Ninja comes in here with a massive fitty spot. Nice little fitty spot to wrap up tonight's session. Chaos brings opportunities for those that have real eyes and can see. Change is inevitable. Chaos is normal. Order does not come out of chaos. Hence, there is a creator. What a wonderful time to be alive. We were born for times such as these. And that's what we've been saying, right? Is that we're going to be the leaders in our families, our business, our communities that are going to bring the order to this chaos. They live by this motto: never let a good crisis go to waste. Order out of chaos, right? They plan the chaos so that they can bring about the solution. They can bring about the order. They can be seen as the savior. Well, unfortunately for them, we're in front of their agenda. We're in front of their evil. We've exposed them. We're going to continue to expose them, continue to resist them. And the momentum has now shifted. The headwinds have now shifted into tailwinds, not just for our XRP investment. Brad made the statement, the headwinds have shifted to tailwinds in relation to XRP. But I really look at that as a metaphor for the rest of the world and the people fighting the good fight. The headwinds have shifted into tailwinds. We're now starting to take back territory. We're now starting to run the show. This is not just XRP running this bull market. This is the good men and women of this planet that are fighting for a level playing field are starting to really hit our strides. We're starting to gain back territory. And we got the enemy back on their heels. They're backed into a corner. And this is why we're staying ready with our head on a swivel, because we know that they're backed into a corner, and this is when they get the most desperate. So that's what we're preparing for. As I titled this episode here tonight, XRP is ready to run. We got a massive, massive week coming up here for XRP in the broader markets. You guys are going to want to make sure you stay tuned with us. If you haven't already, make sure you guys subscribe here on YouTube, X, and TikTok, the 3 platforms where we're pumping it out. And who knows, TikTok may be banned. That's not going to stop us. We will be sending out the transmission, whether we got to send it out through the radio waves, whether we can do it on YouTube, X, and TikTok like we would prefer, whether we got to go back to another platform, we will continue getting out the good word and saving as many people as possible, getting them in front of the greatest transfer of wealth in world history. Because if you don't get in front of it, you're definitely going to get wiped out. You're definitely going to get left behind. And basically our goal and our mission is to help as many people as possible get in front of this thing, get in front of the tailwinds that are now pushing us with a massive amount of momentum, carrying us into the next couple weeks, as the XRP lawsuit date to look forward to next being Wednesday, January 15th. The date where Gary Gensler will resign being January 19th. And Trump coming in, walking down Pennsylvania Avenue. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see what happens here. Inauguration Day on January 20th. So stay strapped in here with us. Make sure you guys have subscribed. If you guys could, do me a big favor. Make sure you like this video on the way out. Well, you guys showed up big time tonight. Massive super chats. Thank you for all of your support. If you guys want to continue to show your support, you can head to my website, zachrector.com. I also have quick links down below. And if you guys haven't checked out our links that we have there, we have resources available, precious metals, cryptocurrency exchanges, wallets. One thing I'd consider taking a look at would be your XRP exit strategy right now, making sure that you got a plan, making sure that you got multiple options. I will be doing an update to my XRP exit strategy now that we have RLUSD available, and we could use the DEX to cash out into RLUSD straight on the DEX. That becomes another option available. But what I've done is I've set myself up on Coinbase, Uphold, and Caleb and Brown is the most recent one that I've gotten myself set up on, so that I have options for my XRP exit strategy this bull run, along with taking profit on some of these other cryptos as well. So when you use our resources, you support our cause. I greatly appreciate you. Couldn't do it without you. We will be back tomorrow, Monday. Big week coming up. Make sure you guys stay tuned, and God bless you all. Thank you so much.